What's up, official fam? Welcome to the stream. If you are watching this recording, we did it live. Okay, we have an open chat. I'm gonna just tell you what we're gonna be doing in this video. We're gonna get straight to the point. That way you can always come back to this video anytime you need it, and you can just see, okay, how do you do this? How do you do that? It'll be straight there for you. So what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna turn off the chat while I'm explaining everything so I can just get through everything. Okay, and then at the end of this video I'm gonna turn the chat back on so that if you have any questions you can ask me. Okay, sounds good. So what's up, everyone? I do see you in the chat. I do see everybody in the chat. What's up? Appreciate the love, y'all. Thank you so much for smashing the like button. I really do appreciate it. So this was a highly requested video on stream. Every day y'all ask me, Linz, how do you create your trading journal? How do you do it? So if you haven't already, make sure you have your template ready so you can follow along with me. You can actually follow along as I do this and make it while we're doing it. Okay, so the free way to do this is to use Google Sheets. So you're gonna go to google.com, type in Google Sheets, it should pop up. All right, it's free for everyone. So put a 1 in the chat if you have your Google Sheet ready to go. Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. Let me see how many ones we got. Now when you get to Google Sheets, you're gonna click New Spreadsheet. Okay, I think if you're on computer it says blank. All right, so you're just going to create a new blank spreadsheet. Now when you do that, boom, this should pop up. Okay, this is exactly where you should be. All right, so let me go back. All right, and let me just tell you what you're going to learn from this video so that you know what you're going to get out of here. So I'm going to teach you how to create a new spreadsheet. I'm going to teach you how to name your spreadsheet. I'm going to teach you how to customize your spreadsheet, right? Put text in it, put numbers in it, how to put formulas in it. That way, when you input your profit, when you input your losses, when you input if you won or if you lost the trade, it'll automatically calculate it for you. You don't have to do anything. It's going to automatically calculate your wins. It's going to automatically calculate your percentages, all that stuff done for you. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to do that. I'm going to teach you how to use drop-down boxes, right? A lot of you like those drop-down boxes that I use, so I'm going to show you how to do that. How to save an image of your trade in your spreadsheet, right? If you want to save a picture of your trade, so you can just click on it. I'm going to show you how to do that. And let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much the bulk of the video in how to calculate your overall growth, right? Instead of just doing the daily growth, you can see your overall account growth as well. All right, and then the bonus, right at the bottom, it says exclusive bonus. This is for y'all, just for y'all supporting me. I'm going to show you how to get your cells to change colors without you doing anything. Okay, so let's say my example I have there is if you win, you want it to be green. If you lost, you want it to be red. As soon as you put in whether you won or lost, it'll turn color for you, which is pretty cool. All right, so without further ado, thank you so much for being here. I do see y'all in the chat, but I am going to turn the chat off because it's going to be a distraction for those of you trying to follow along. I just want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. Okay, sounds good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it off now. Bye, y'all. We'll be back. All right, no more chat. All right, hopefully you have your spreadsheets ready. I'm going to start. Try your best to follow along with me. I'm gonna go at a slower pace because I know sometimes I talk fast. Here we go. I got my iPad right here, so I'm going to be following along with my own trading journal. So I'm going to be referencing my trading journal. Okay, so let's start by naming our spreadsheet. So if you come up to the left corner over here, it says Untitled Spreadsheet. If you click it, you can name your spreadsheet. So we're going to call this trading journal. And right here, I'm just going to put test because, oh no, I'm going to put sample because this is a sample for y'all, right? Boom. And then you press enter. So now you save this, right? And for those who don't know, you can download Google Sheets to your phone. So whether you're on your phone, you're on your iPad, you're on your tablet, you're on your computer, it automatically saves for you. It's a cloud, right? It's a Google Cloud. So it's kind of cool. If I go on my iPad right now, you'll see that it says that. So anyway, we're going to leave column A open because we're going to be putting data here. So we'll get to that later. So I'm going to skip. I'm going to start typing in B. So if you notice, we got A, B, C, D. It goes all the way down. Okay, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 coming down all the way down. Okay, so the way you allocate cells is you say B1. Well, what's B1? You go to B, you go down 1. If I say go to B5, you're going to go to B, go down to 5. Makes sense? If I say go to G7, you're going to go to G, go all the way down to 7, G7. Okay, so the way that they reference cells, the letter goes first, the number goes last. All right, so we're going to be starting at B2. Okay, because again, we're using A for data. So I'm going to teach you how to type words, right? So what are things that we need in our training journal? We need the date that we took the trade. We need the time we took the trade. We need the pair, the entry type. We need order, lot sizes, right? So let's start putting that in. So you're going to click your cell and you're going to type date. Enter. Okay. That's how you get text in here. Anytime you click on your cell, the information will be right up here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue this to speed this along. Time, enter, and I can come over here, pair. Now, if you don't want to keep pressing enter and clicking, a little hack for you if you're on a computer or laptop is you could press tab and it'll go to the right. Okay, just for those of you who want it. So I'm just going to continue this. Tab, order type, tab, lot size, tab, and we're going to do open and close the trade. Actually, we're going to skip all that because this is just, but for those of you who want the spreadsheet I have opening prices, closing prices for the trade. I have whether there was news. I have the trade image. And then I have wins, break even. And then I have losses. And then profit, so I can calculate the profit. As you can see, I have a lot of categories, right? And then we got growth percentage. Okay, so this is a lot of data. Okay, it's a lot of data. So let me show you something. What's really cool about this is you can adjust your columns. So say like date is probably going to be a smaller column. If you put your cursor up here between B and C, you see how that line pops up, those arrows? If you double click it, it'll adjust it to how long your word is. So you can do that, you know, but I'm not going to do that for everything. If you always want to adjust it, you can click your mouse, you can drag it back out. Okay. So this is just for those of you who want to adjust that. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to decorate this a little bit, right? It looks too plain. So what you can do is once you have a cell highlighted, you can come up here and you can bold your cell. Okay. Now, instead of doing this individually, you can actually click, drag your mouse. You're going to drag, you can highlight this whole thing, and then you can, boom, bold. Now everything's bold. Right? So if you want to, if you want the same thing to happen to a whole bunch of cells at once, you can just click your mouse, drag, highlight it, boom, change it. Now, I like to make my stuff nice and neat, so I'm going to highlight this again. And I'm going to come over here. This is how you align your text. So same thing like Microsoft Word. You want to align it to the left, the middle, or to the right. I'm going to put mine in the middle. Boom. So that kind of aligns it in the middle of all the cells. I just like stuff neat. Okay. And then I personally like to put borders around my stuff so I can keep track. You know, it just makes it look better. So if you highlight a cell, you come up here next to the bucket. It's called borders. If you click borders, they have different type of borders here, right? You can put an underline border. And I'm going to click out so you can see it. See it underlined it. You know, you can put a top border. You know, there's different things you can do. But what we're going to do is we're going to make the whole thing a border. So you can click all borders. Now the whole thing has a border around it. But again, instead of doing this individually, let's just highlight all of these. Click and drag your mouse. Come up to borders. All borders. Now if I click away, you're going to see, boom. Got all our borders. Cool. Now another thing I like to do personally is I like to color code my stuff. You know, you don't have to do it, but I just personally color code it because it makes it easier for me. You know, you can make this whatever color you want. So I'm going to highlight from date all the way up to lot size. This bucket right here called fill, this is how you change the color of your cell. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to click the gray. Boom. So you can see how this changed to gray. News. Now let's say I just want news to be one color, then I'm just going to click news. I'm going to come up to my bucket and I'm going to click that little bit of, a little bit of yellow. Okay. Trade image. Let's say I want this to be a different color. Let's do purple. Okay. Wins. I want my wins to be green. Losses. I would like my losses to be red. Okay. Profit and growth. I'm going to keep those the same color because they correlate together. Blue. How about that? Boom. So you see how quick that was? That didn't take us too long, right? All we did was add some color, add some border, bold the text, center the text, and it already makes it look nice and neat. Okay. So next, let's actually make this up so we can actually get some data going in here so you can get your formulas going. So this calculates stuff for you. Now, let's just pretend. Let's put the date in. Let's say today's the 25th. Okay. So you see how I inputted it and it's not center? What you can do, which is really cool, is you can click this whole column. You can come up to here and you can center it. Now it's going to center every single thing that you put in column B. Everything will be centered. Right. Now, another cool thing is you can click, right? See, I'm clicking on C. If I hold down Shift on my keyboard and I click, right? You gotta be holding down Shift the whole time now. Hold down Shift and I come up here and I center. Now, every single thing I type in here should be centered. Watch, I'm gonna choose a random cell. I'm gonna type gibberish, and if I press enter, it should be centered. Boom. You see that? So you see how it's nice and easy to format everything at once? It saves you so much time, I promise. Okay, so time. What's the time right now? I'm just gonna put 12 o'clock. Boom. Enter. Or you can put 12 p.m. Okay. Now, pair. So this is the part where I'm going to teach you how to make a drop-down arrow, right? Because there's only so many pairs that retrade. So this is where I told you to leave column A blank because we're going to input our data there. So let's start by inputting data. So what pairs do retrade? I'm literally just going to start up here and just start typing down. I trade GBP, JPY. I'm going to press enter to go to the next line. So here's the thing about data. When you're inputting data into a drop-down menu, you have to make each option be in its own cell. So I can't put the other pairs here. I got to make a new cell for the next pair, okay? So make sure everything you do is individual. Next, gold. Okay. Next, US 30. And you see how each data has its own cell? Again, make sure each data has its own cell. Boom. So these are the 4 pairs we're trading. These are the 4 options that we want to be in our drop-down menu. So there's our data. Now, it's time to input our data, right? So where do we want to input our data? Right here. We want it to be in pairs, right? We want to be able to have a drop-down menu here. So what we're going to do is make sure you click this cell first. Go up to data. Come all the way down. It says data validation. You're going to click on that. Now, it says cell range. Cell range is where do you want this data to be? Where's the range at? Where do you want this data to be? So you're going to click this little window. And now you can click and drag your mouse. Okay, so I don't just want it to be here. I want it to be this whole thing, right? So just try to estimate how much of this you're going to use. So let's just do it to right about here. Okay. Let's press OK. Boom. So that's where our drop-down menus are going to go. Criteria. What's the data, right? What's the criteria that you want to be in here? So right here, this little window, select your criteria. Now you can select where it is. This is the criteria. This is what we want to be in our drop down menu. Now we're going to press OK. Now before I press OK, notice how it says A1 to A4. A1 to A4. Press OK. And that's it. That's it. And all we're going to do is save it. Boom. Now, if we come here, we have the option to click on GJ. Did we take a trade on GJ today? Did we take a trade on gold today? Did we take a trade on US 30 today? What did we take a trade on? Right? You see that? Okay. Now, at any time, if you need to edit this, okay, make sure you click here. Go back to your data. Go back to data validation. Let's say you forgot to input something, right? Let's say like, oh, I trade this pair now. Let's say you trade GU now. You want to add, let me make that caps, GBP USD, right? Let's say you trade GBP USD now. You want to add that in here as an option, okay? So when it comes to your criteria says A1 to A4. So you're going to edit your criteria and you're going to make sure it says A1 to A5. Press OK. And then save it. Now, when I come here, I should have my GU option as well. You see how I have my GU option? So anytime you want, you can edit this. Okay. Now, let's say you want to delete this data, right? Go to data. Go to data validation. Literally says remove validation. Okay. Now, I didn't highlight everything. I just highlighted this cell. So I only removed it from this cell, right? You're going to have to highlight everything. Click remove. Okay, so you're going to have to highlight every cell that you want to remove it from, okay? But for these purposes, and for purposes of I know you're following along with me, I'm going to do this one more time without talking, just so you can see it again. I clicked on the wrong thing. Look at me. Boom. Done. All right, so let's say we took out a trade on gold today. Boom. All right, entry type. This one's up to you. It depends how you trade. But let's say I put, let's say I want to put bank zones here, right? So if I want to input more data, I usually skip a line over here. Okay, and I come right here. So let's say one of our entry types is bank zones. Let's say another entry type is, I don't know, order block. Let's say imbalance. You know, I'm just throwing out examples. Fibonacci. You know, just random examples. So for order type, I'm sorry, not for order type, for entry type. I'm sorry, y'all, for entry type, right? Same thing. You can go to data. Data validation, cell range, where do you want this to be? I want this to be right here. Press OK. What's the criteria? Right here, these options, press OK. Save. Okay. Now if I go to entry type, I have different options for why I entered. Fibonacci was why I entered. Boom. Order type, right? This is where you put, was it a market buy? Was it a market sell? Limit sell, limit buy, was it a buy stop, sell stop, all that good stuff. So again, I'm going to skip a line. Okay, I'm going to skip a line and I'm literally just going to type buy stop. Oh no, let's do market first, right? Market sell, market buy, buy stop, sell stop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my camera away because I know I'm in the way. Limit buy, limit sell, right? Boom. So these are the different type of orders. So same thing, right? We're going to go up to data, data validation, cell range. Where do we want it? We want it to be right here. Press OK. Criteria. Click that window, highlight what you want, press OK, and save. Boom. Okay. Now you can choose, okay, what did we use? We used a buy stop. I don't know. We used a market buy. All right. Now notice how this isn't really fitting in here. So remember what I said, you can come up here and double click and it will adjust the column for you. All right, lot sizes. You know, we're just going to make up stuff, but you can continue to put in data. I'm just going to put that for now. Now notice how I put 0.20 and it didn't show up, right? That's because this is one decimal place. So if you come up here, these are your decimal places. This is to increase decimals. This one's to decrease decimals. Okay. So actually what we're going to be doing is we're going to just highlight this whole thing and we're going to increase decimals. So now no matter what, this will be 2 places for decimals. Okay, news. Usually for news, I just kind of put yes or no. Was there news? Yes or no. So we're going to come down here. Remember, skip a line. Let's put yes and let's just put no. Now these are the 2 options that we want to be for news. So let's input that data. Let's go to data, data validation, cell range. Where do you want this to be? And you can move this over if it's in your way. Drag and highlight, press OK. Enter the criteria, just these 2 options, press OK. Save. Go to news. Was there news? Yes. Was there news? No. Trade image. Now this one is going to be a little different. Okay, so when you take an image on TradingView, so what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to open up TradingView for you so you can see it. Okay, so let's say you take an image. You have to come all the way up here, see where my mouse is, and take a screenshot. So when you click that button, it's going to download it to your computer. You're going to have to open up that image. When you open up that image, you need to open it up to your browser. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to, let me see. I'm going to open up a trade image. Let's see, what's the last trade image I put here? And I'm just going through the Discord. The last image I uploaded to Discord, I'm just going to click on the Limage Inc. and I paste it in my browser. So once you have the image link in your browser, all you're going to take is this link. Okay, so you're going to take this link. You're going to copy it, highlight it, copy it, come back over to your trading journal, right click, paste. Okay, now you can see that this text is kind of running all over, right? Now I believe to hide this text, I actually forget what I did. I did something though to hide this text. I think it was text wrapping. Yes, clip. Okay. So you saw it. Let me go back. And by the way, this is your go back button. You can always go back as many times as you want. So let's say not just this image, right? But the rest of our images, if we paste them, they're obviously going to be long, right? So let's just highlight this entire I category. We come up here. It's called text wrapping. Click that arrow. Come all the way over to the last one. It's called clip. It's going to clip it within your cell. So click clip. Boom. Now it's not spread all over the place, right? Now it's not in the way. Now anytime you want to come back and check out this trade, you can click it. Here it comes, pops up. Boom. There it is. Okay, and just to prove to you, I'm going to click out of TradingView. Right? I'm going to click out of TradingView. So you can see, look up here. There's no more TradingView, right? I'm just going to prove it to you. Watch this. Boom. Okay, so that image is always there for you, okay? Now, for the fun part, let's move on to something else. Formulas. Before we do that, how do you hide this data, right? Because this data, you don't want this data to be showing. It's all up in your way, right? Who wants to look at that this whole time? So what we're going to do is we're going to take column A, just highlight column A, come over to text, make it white. Data's gone. In fact, if you want, you can actually click and drag column A over here. Now we don't even know it exists, right? Okay, so wins. Let's go over wins. How do we calculate all of our wins? How do we calculate all of our losses? How do we get it to do it for us, right? Let's do that now. So let's pretend that we got a win here. Let's pretend we got a break even here. Let's pretend that we got a loss here. I'm just gonna, we're gonna pretend Like we got 3 different trades going here. So I'm just going to drag this down. So what I just used is called a fill tool, and the fill tool just copies what you do. So if you click right here, this corner, you drag it, it's just going to copy. Boom, boom, boom. See that? It's called a fill tool. Okay. So don't mind me. I'm just putting in random stuff here just to make it look real. Okay. Now you can see how the bank zones doesn't fit, right? So just double click. All right, makes sense. So we have some examples here. So if this is the bottom of your trading journal, then if you want to add totals, my suggestion is to add an equals sign. So what I typically do is I highlight the bottom row and I add a bottom border. So if we come up here to borders, you can click bottom border, boom. So now I can add up the totals here. You see that? Okay. So if we want this to add up the totals, there's 2 different ways we can do this. You can click the cell, you can type equals, and then you can type in whatever formula you want. You can literally click this cell and it pops up, right? J3. It's the 3rd row, J3. And you can do plus, you can click the next cell, this, plus this, right? But that's too tedious, right? We ain't got time for that. I'm gonna show you the easiest way to do it. You can do it that way, but I'm gonna show you something easier. So if you click here, this is where your formulas are. It's called functions. Click here, sum. You want the sum of this category. Sum means you're adding everything, right? Click sum. Now it automatically has that formula for you. All you have to do is drag what you want to add. So you want to add all of these together. J3 to J8. Enter. Now this is going to add up all your wins. And I'm going to prove it to you. Let's say if we won this day, you got 2 wins for the week, right? Let's say we won this day. Now you got 3 wins. Okay. So you see, we're just making sure that it works. Now, instead of doing the same thing here, you can actually click and drag this across. Now, if you drag it across, did it copy the 1? No, it copied the formula. How do you know? Well, if you click in here, remember what I showed you the first time when you're typing text. Anytime you click a cell, the information inside of the cell is up here where it says FX. So this says it's taking the sum of K3 to K8. And let's just make sure it's adding up K3 to K8. So yeah. What about this one? The sum of L3 to L8. So it's adding them all across. I'm just going to prove it to you. I'm going to add a break even here. Boom, it should say 2. Let's add a loss here. It should say 2. Let's add another loss here. It should say 3. So you see how that automatically adds it for you? I can literally, let's say you mess up, right? Let's say you typed it in the wrong category. I can literally highlight all of these and press delete on my keyboard. I could delete everything. The formula is still here. The formula is still here. So if you want to delete the formula, all you're going to do is click and press delete. But let's do it again. We won here. We won here. Break even. Loss, loss, loss. So now we got 2 wins, 1 break even, 3 losses. Okay, so I'm just showing you that these formulas do work. And you know, you can make this as big as you want, of course. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to put like a heading title up here. So let's say this is the month of September, right? So if I click here, because this is the first column I kind of use, right? I'm just going to type September. Okay. See how it's not really fitting? I really want this to be centered here. So I'm going to click on the cell that I typed September in. And if you notice, I messed up, right? I got a lowercase s here. So I'm going to edit the cell by up here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and it should be something called, oh, I know, merge cells. Okay. So we're going to merge these cells together, but just where September is. So watch this. So you're going to click and highlight what you want merged together. I want September to be the heading up here. Okay, I want it to be between here and here. I want it to be centered. Okay, so I'm gonna do it one more time for my people in the back. I want September to be centered across this whole thing. So I'm gonna click and drag. Okay. Now, merge is available. Okay, it says merge all. It says merge horizontally. You can merge. You can just click it, actually, and it'll automatically do it for you. See that? Boom. So it kind of took away those lines. It kind of merged all these cells together. This is what they do in accounting. And you can click and highlight this and just make it bold. Boom. Now this is for September. Now moving on to profit, right? Let's say we're adding up our profit. So I'm just going to give you some examples. Let's say we made $20 this day. Let's say we made $53 this day. We broke even, so we made $0. We lost $33.65. We lost $4.71. And here we lost, I don't know, $17.96. So what do you notice about this? This isn't showing us money signs. So if you want this whole column to show you money signs, you can just click, highlight all, with the M. And you can come over here. It says format as a currency. See this dollar sign? Click money. Boom, there goes our money. All right, so now this is going to format everything in the M column as a currency. Okay, now if you notice, this isn't adding it up for us. How come it's not adding it up? Well, we didn't put any formula here, right? If you click this cell, look up here, it's blank. When we did that fill, we only filled it over here. So you can click here, drag, fill. You want to copy the formula here. Click and fill, boom, drag. What is this doing? Well, it's adding up these numbers. How do you know? Well, if I delete all this, what's there? 20, right? Plus $5. It was 20 plus $5. $25, right? So this should turn to $25. Enter. Boom. I'm just showing you that it works, right? Break even is 0, right? Let's say we lost $5. This should turn it back to 20, right? Boom. Let's say we lost $10. This should turn this back to 10, right? Boom. Lost $1. Boom. You see that? So it works. I'm just showing you that it works. So the way you're setting this up is so that all you have to do for your trading journal is put in your wins, your break evens, your losses, your profit, and you're good. Now, growth percentage, right? We're going to get a little bit more detailed this time. So growth percentage, it really depends on your account balance. So this is what I personally do. I'm going to show you what I do. What I do is I use the cell right here typically to put in my number. Okay. So we're doing, for an example, we're doing this 5K to 50,000 challenge, right? So if we're at 5K, I just use whole numbers. So if I'm at the 5,000, I'll use 5,000. When we get to 6,000, we're going to change this to 6,000, right? It doesn't matter if we're at, 6,400. I'm still going to use 6,000. When we get to 7,000, I'm going to use 7,000. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So anyway, we're at 5,900 and something, but I'm just going to use 5,000. Okay. I'm just going to make this a money so you can see it. So the reason I'm putting this here is because I need an account balance to do this formula. Because we're going to take the growth percentage of our balance. So the way this formula works is it's actually, I'm going to type it here for you so you can see what it is. It's profit, can't even spell. It's profit divided by your balance. That's all this formula is going to be. Now, again, I'm just typing this here so that you can see it, just in case you need to know what the formula is for growth percentage. So let's input that formula. This one we got to do ourselves. So we're going to press equals and profit. So whether we're up or down, doesn't matter. It's going to be this number, because this is the profit, divided by, you're going to use your slash, your balance. Here's the balance. Boom. Now, there's one thing we have to do here before we press enter. When we copy this down, the formula, this is going to keep moving down. just like this is going to keep moving down. So I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to press enter. Okay. And this is in decimal form. So what we're going to do is, actually, I'm going to make this a little bit more realistic. So just give me a second just to make this more realistic for you. And then minus, okay. Okay, I just want to make this more realistic for you. Okay, so look, it's going to automatically calculate the percentage for you in decimal form. So if you want this to be in percentage form, highlight the whole thing, come over here and click percentage. Boom, 1%. Now, if we want to copy this formula down, if I click and drag it down, right, boom, there's a problem, right? See how it says there's a problem? I'm going to show you what the problem is. The problem is we didn't save this number to be fixed, right? Think about it. Let's see if I can move this. I'm going to click OK. When I drag this formula down, it's taking the profit. So the formula automatically changes towards what this profit was. If I click here, it says M4. M4. So it's taking this number, right? It's not taking this number. When we copy this formula all the way down, it's not taking $50. It's taking this. Then it's taking this. Then it's taking this. Then it's taking this. So the same thing, like when we're copying it down, it's taking this. Then it's taking this. Then it's taking this. Then it's taking this. So you see why we had an error? So what you need to do is, if you have a fixed number, which a fixed number means a number that doesn't change, the 5,000 is not going to change in this formula. You have to put dollar signs. Okay, and this is the same thing as if you're using Excel. So you're going to put a dollar sign here and a dollar sign here. Now it literally says 01, which is this. This is where it is. It's 01. So make sure you input your dollar signs before the O and after the O. That's all you got to do. So I'm actually going to delete this and I'm going to do it over for you from scratch just so you can see the original way. Okay, I had to show you it that way so that you understood. So watch. Let's put in our growth formula. Equals profit. Profit's going to come from here. Divided by our balance. Click your balance. But we need those dollar signs because this is going to be a fixed number. The balance is not going to change when we copy the formula down. So let's add a dollar sign here. And then we're going to add a dollar sign here. Enter. Okay. Now we can fill this formula all the way down. So we're going to click and drag. Boom. No error message. Now there's one more thing we need to do. We got to get the total growth percentage, right? How much are we up in this account? We didn't add a border here either. So let's click. Let's add a border. And instead of doing all that extra work, let's just click, drag this sum formula over. Boom. So you're up 0.4% on this account. Okay. Well, let me change this so you could be up more. I'm just changing this so you can see what it would be like if you're up. Now notice that this is fixated. It's not fixated. It's just $50 is 1% of 5,000. So if I make this an off number, just so you can see, I'm gonna type, I don't know, 22.77. I'm gonna make this really specific. Let's say you lost $1.06. You know, let's say you won 48.96. You know, I'm just trying to throw these numbers off a little bit just so you can see it is calculating. 34.2, I don't know. All right, so as you can see, no matter what the change is, it's going to calculate it to the T. Okay. Now, we done almost everything that I want to show you. Now we're going to do the bonus, right? The bonus is going to be, how do you change the color of these cells to automatically change when you input a number? Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to click one of these cells. So check this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it green if we're good, right? Green if we're up, and we're going to make it red if we're down, right? If we're minus for the day. Okay, but in order for me to do that is I'm going to have to change these numbers a little bit, because if it's at right under 1%, I don't think it's going to go. So let me just finesse the numbers here. Just give me 1 second. We want 66.24. Just making it a little bit realistic. I'll keep that one there, and I'm gonna make this one. Boom. Perfect. So now we got examples of when we're up green. We got examples of break even. We have an example of barely 1%, and then we have an example of being negative. So this is how you input it. It's called conditional cell formatting. So we're going to condition this to turn green when it's good and condition it to turn red when it's bad. So all we're going to do is highlight these cells. Come over here to format. Click on condition. Now, all you have to do is add a rule. So it starts off by giving you a rule. So like I said, all you have to do is just add a rule. Excuse my neighbor going by. I know you heard that car. So the first rule we're going to add is this. We're going to say if this number is greater than or equal to, right here. If this number is greater than or equal to 0.01%. So basically what I'm saying is, or I'm just going to put 1% actually, just make it easier. Will it let me do that? Okay. So basically what I'm saying is if this number is 1% or above, turn this cell, and remember the bucket is the cell color. You can change it to whatever color you want. It doesn't have to be green. Turn this cell green. I'm going to do like a light green. So it's already on light green. Okay, done. We added that rule. Now let's add another rule. Oh, let me go back. So look, I just want you to see that we did it. So when we're up, it's going to turn green. Now let's highlight these again. Let's go to format, conditional formatting. You can add another rule. You can add as many rules as you want. Let's do another rule. We're going to say if this number is less than or equal to, we're going to say minus 1%. Right? If it's less than that, then we want it to highlight red. Done. You can click out of here. Boom. So you can see how we lost and it highlighted red, right? I don't really dabble too much. I kind of call these break evens. I mean, they're down, but they're, you know. So actually, we're going to have to change our formula because this is still down 0.5% almost. So let's highlight this again. Let's see, let's go to format. We're going to say minus 0.01. And you can play around with these numbers to see what works with you. Percent. Done. And then we're going to click the X. So see now it's anything that's a less than 0 will be red. Okay. And just to prove it to you, I can delete this and there's nothing there, so it's gone. So as you're, as you're going through the day, like, oh man, I took a loss today. You're going to click this cell, you're going to put, I don't know, I lost $36. Boom. It'll give you the percentage. Or I don't know, I lost $56. Boom, you lost 1.12% today. You see that? Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn the chat on for the members, and I'm going to give you a chance to ask me some questions just in case I miss something, because I make these all the time. So you do something all the time, you may forget something, and then after that I'm going to open the chat up to the public. So thank you so much for giving this a like, y'all. Please give it a like if you learned something. Give it a like if it helps you create your journal. Let me know in the chat where you're at. Let me know in the chat. Did you keep up with me here? Were you able to keep up with me? Let me know. And while we're doing that, I'm going to show you that down here you can see it says sheet 1. So you can actually, you know, let's say you want to do this for, I don't know, maybe you only trade 2 pairs. You know, maybe you want to name this GJ, right? And then you can make a new spreadsheet right here. Click add new spreadsheet, and then here it is. Right click, rename, and name this, I don't know, gold. Enter. If you don't want to do all this hard work again, see how you can just click back and forth? You can literally copy this whole thing, highlight the whole thing, right click. Oh wait, don't forget your data. Don't forget your data. Don't forget column A. Highlight the whole thing, right click, copy, come over here, right click, paste. Now you say lens, it's all, you know, it's all there. It's fine. You can just clear it out, right? You can highlight all of this and press delete. Now you got a blank one, right? Now let's say, you know, and now you can just fill this out the way you want it to fill it out, right? For gold, you can literally continue doing what you were doing, okay? You may have a loss of data here that you have to put in, but it's not that bad. All right, and even if you want to do the next month, you can just copy and paste for the next month, right? That you can just keep going and going and going. So, you know, I'm just giving you some examples here. So let me check in with the chat. Yeah, you can put entry and exit. So this is just a template. I mean, you can put whatever you want to put into your template. Whatever data you want to put there, whatever information you want to put there, you put in your template because it's your template. So yeah, y'all, this is pretty much the bulk of the video. I wanted to keep it nice and short. I turned off the chat because I wanted you to be able to follow along with me rather than read the chat the whole time, right? That way I know you're paying attention. All right, so I'm gonna let this be. I'm gonna go about my business. I'm gonna keep this on YouTube for you so you can come back here. You can reference this anytime you need to. Okay, customize any color, add any category, do whatever you want. You know, have fun with it. All right, much love, y'all.